Hey guys, what's up? It's Gianna, and this is my first YouTube video. I thought I'd just come on here and show you guys how to do this pretty basic makeup look. Since it is my first video, I'm still working out all of the video things, like the angles, how to show you guys products, whether I should talk through or if I should voice over. So I am just kind of getting my feel for things. If you guys have any tips or things you want to see, please leave them in the comments below. And if you like this tutorial, please like, subscribe if you want to see more from me, and I hope to see you guys in my next video. Enjoy! Okay, so first off, I am taking my damp beauty blender and my Ready Set Gorgeous foundation in the shade 115. It's a little too light for my skin right now, but once I bronze up my face when I do my contouring, it should look fine. So I'm basically just dotting it all over my face, and I am blending it in, patting it into my skin with my beauty blender, making sure that it is in every single crease and that it's blended down my neck and in my hairline. Alright, so right about now I'm just going to take a couple more dots of that foundation and put it under my eyes. I don't like using concealer in the summer, it just feels like there's too much makeup on my face, so I just put a little bit of the extra foundation under my eyes just to make sure that they stay bright all day, and then I'll just pat the excess over any redness or pimples I have on my face. And now I am just taking a loose powder that I got really cheap. I think I got it at Five Below actually, and I'm going to be taking that with my beauty blender, putting it all underneath my eyes, really just making sure that the foundation stays in place and that it doesn't slide everywhere, and then once again I'm taking the excess and putting it over the rest of my face. Now we're starting to contour with the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette and a blush brush from e.l.f. I'm going to be taking the yellow shade in the middle, and I'm going to be using that to set my under eyes. Once again, I really just want to make sure that they stay in place and they stay as bright as possible. And then after I finish that, I am going to be taking the orange shade and setting my T-zone, so my forehead, my nose, my lip, and my chin, making sure all my oily areas stay dry throughout the day. Then I'm going to be taking a contour brush by e.l.f. and I'm going to be carving out my cheekbones with the darkest shade in the palette, making a fish face and drawing a line into the hollows of my cheeks. And I don't want my nose to be too muddy, so I'm just taking the leftover product on the brush and kind of carving out my nose. Once again, we're going to be taking that damp beauty blender, and I'm just going to be blending out the lines I drew on my cheeks and on my nose, just making sure that it looks as blended as possible. Take your time with this. You can never have too much blending. Now we're going to be taking that middle contour shade. It's kind of a warmer tone, and that contour brush, I'm just going to be putting it around the perimeter of my face just to warm it up because my foundation was so light. So I'm just putting around my hairline and on my jaw, and then I'm going to bring it down my neck. And I'm also going to put a little bit over the contour just to really warm up my cheeks. And like I said before, just really make sure you take your time blending with this. You don't want any harsh lines on your face, so really just blend it up into your hairline, down your neck. You don't want any beard looking contour. So yeah, really just make sure you bring it down your neck, you blend everything in well. And like I mentioned before, I'm just going to be taking this stippling brush and the warm tone and really putting it over the contour to really intensify it, but also just to bring some more warmth into my face. And then this is also where I just continue to blend it down my neck, really make sure it's all blended in right. Next, I'm going to be taking a really pretty coral color from Kiko Milano and a powder brush from e.l.f., putting that on the apples of my cheeks and also bringing it up into my temples. I just find that when blush is blended up into the temples, it looks a lot better than when it's just stuck like a clown on your cheeks. Now we're going to be taking the lightest shade from the Kat Von D palette and a concealer brush by e.l.f. I'm just going to be highlighting my cheeks, my nose, my cupid's bow, and my chin, and a little bit on my forehead. I tend to not do too much on my forehead just because I find it makes me look too oily. But then I'm going to be blending all of that out with the brush from before, making sure that everything is blended and melting together. And once again, I'm sorry for the angles with everything. If you guys have any tips on how I can fix that, that would be great, but I will try and have everything figured out by my next video. Now finishing off the face, I am just going to be filling in my eyebrows with the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz in the color medium brown. So I'm just taking the spoolie ends, brushing them out, making sure they're all going in the same direction, and then filling them in. I really don't do much shaping when I fill in my brows. I just fill in what I have, and my brows tend to be a little short, so I do make the tail a little bit longer, but I generally follow my shape. And then in the front they tend to stop short, so I just draw them on a little in the front, but my natural shape is basically what I fill in. This brow I do a little bit of shaping with, just because, as you can see, the arch is much sharper on this brow than the other one, and I tend to favor a more round arch, so I'm just going to be rounding out that arch like the other brow, trying to make them as similar as possible, but remember, your brows are sisters, not twins, and I'm just going to be making sure they look okay, and then we're going to go on and highlight the brows. So after I brush out my brows and make sure that everything is distributed evenly, I take my Urban Decay Gwen Stefani palette and an eyeshadow brush from e.l.f. and I take a whitish champagne color, and I just take a little bit of that and I run it under the entire length of my brow, making sure that they are as sharp and clean as they possibly can look. Now we're going to be starting on the eye look. I am just going to be taking another flat shader brush from e.l.f. and another champagne color from that same palette, distributing it very generously over my lid and my inner corner. And now with a more fluffy brush, I am going to be taking a very gold shimmery color from the same palette, and I'm just going to be packing that onto my lids, not too heavily because I don't want my lids too shiny, but just enough to have a little bit of glitter on there. Now, using an extremely soft fluffy brush, I am going to be taking a light brown color, and I am going to be applying that all over my crease from the lid all the way up to right beneath the highlighter. Now, taking a slightly more dense brush, I'm going to be taking an almost burgundy color, and I'm going to be putting that directly into my crease just to give it more dimension, a little bit more color, and I'm not really going to be blending that up as much. I'm going to keep that as close to my crease as I can. I'm now going to be going back in with the first brush, and I'm taking a little bit more of that first crease color, making sure that the crease colors are blended and that everything blends into one, that it's not too choppy. Now I'm going to be taking a little bit of a very shimmery champagne color, and I'm going to be applying that to the inner corners of my eye just to really open them up and make me look more awake. And here is just a clip of the completed eyeshadow. It is very simple, very basic, and not too heavy. Now we are going to be getting started on liquid liner. I use a L'Oreal felt tip liner, and I really have no technique on how I do this. I generally start from the middle, and then I work my way from the front, really just connecting the line, and then I will do my wing. If you guys want to see a video on how I do my liner, I would be more than happy to do that for you guys, but it's really very simple. You can see it right here. And now I am looking for the cap to my liquid liner because it fell on the floor and I didn't even realize it. Now I'm going to be starting with my mascara. I use the Too Faced Better Than False Lashes Extreme. It comes with the fibers that you can put on over the mascara and then seal with the mascara once again, just to really accentuate them. But I find that that takes a lot of time, and I don't really do that unless I really want my lashes to pop, because I find that the mascara does a great job at lengthening and darkening and making volume. Sorry, that was a mouthful. So right around now I get some mascara on my nose, and we're gonna have to take that off at the end of the video, but I am just really generously applying this to my lashes. I do get a little bit in the crease, but I really don't ever clean that off. I just find that it's pointless to wipe off my shadow and do it again when no one's really going to see inside your crease unless your eyes are closed. So we're just gonna let that mascara on my nose dry for a little bit, and then it's much easier to take off at the end. So here I am trying to decide what lip color I'm going to be wearing today. I find you could go with either a nude or a dark color with these eyes because they're not too much or too little. I decided to go with a purpley liquid lipstick by Revlon, and I find that you don't really need a liner with this. It's very, very pigmented and it dries very, very quickly. So here we are, taking that little dot of mascara off my nose. The reason why we let it dry is because if you don't, it tends to spread all over your face. So when you let it dry, it just really is concentrated in that area. So I'm just taking my leftover foundation that was on my beauty blender, doing that, and then just touching up the contour on my nose and just going over the bridge again with the highlighter. So this is the completed look. I hope you guys really enjoyed the video, and I know it's not the best, but I promise it will get better. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye guys.